Welcome, everybody. Coming up next, it's the Racing Podcast, RP. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one, the only RP, the Racing Podcast, presented by American Podcasting, available at apodradio.com, also available at Spreaker.com, hashtag sports. You can also use hashtag motorsports as well. And if you're on Spreaker.com, you can also use hashtag talk, hashtag news, hashtag racing, but hashtag sports is the main one. So this is RP, show number 611. I'm your host, Manny Allegretto. Now, last Friday was last weekend's Camping World Truck Series event. It was the WinStar World Casino 400 from Texas. Winner, Matt Crafton in the 88 Toyota. He led 77 laps. Second place, Daniel Suarez in the 51 Toyota. He led 6 laps, dropped 1 point. And third place, John West Townley in the 05 Chevy. And then last Sunday was Sprint Cup racing at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway, the Exalta We Paint Winners 400. Winner, Martin Truex Jr. in the 78 Chevy. He led 97 laps, and this is the first Cup win for Truex Jr. since 2013 at Sonoma. Second place, Kevin Harvick in the number 4 Chevy. He led 39 laps. And third place, Jimmy Johnson in the 48 Chevy. And once again, first, second, and third, Chevy. There was no Xfinity racing last weekend. Xfinity returns on Saturday. Okay, you actually have Xfinity and trucks on Saturday, and then Sprint Cup racing on Sunday. Xfinity and Sprint Cup are heading to Michigan, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So the Exalta We Paint Winners 400 from Pocono. Scheduled number of laps was 100. Oh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I knew I was going to forget, but I cannot forget. I got to tell you this right now. History made at Belmont Park. American Pharoah, winner of the Triple Crown, winning the Belmont Stakes on Saturday, the 147th running of the Belmont Stakes, in 2 minutes and 26.65 seconds. This horse had the lead from the gate, coming out the gate, and held the lead for the whole race. And if you ever play the ponies, and you see your horse coming out in front right out the bat, you kind of get a little nervous, okay? But this horse did it, American Pharoah, and there you go. So, first time since 1978 winning the Triple Crown, and of course the 1978 winner was affirmed. Exciting time on Saturday, I tell you. All right, back to the cars. So, so Sunday's race scheduled number of laps was 160. Actual laps 160. Green flag comes down at 121, and the checker comes out at 420. Pocono, has the widest front straights on the NASCAR circuit. Temperatures at the race start, air temp was 68 degrees and track temp at 101. Pre-race information. Okay, the presentation of colors presented by the U.S. Air Force 314th Recruiting Squadron, McGuire Air Force Base Color Guard. Invocation, Monty Sell from MRO. National Anthem, performed by the West Point Army Band, with singer Elias Sanders from Scranton School of the Deaf. Gentlemen, start your engines announcement. Carolyn and Charlie Shaver, Grand Marshals, father and daughter. Charlie Shaver, the chairman and CEO of Exalta Coating Systems. Now, one note from Sunday's race that drivers were allowed to have one transmission change and one gearbox change. This is only allowed for road courses and at Pocono. Kurt Busch, pole sitter for Sunday's race, okay, and we'll get to. So he took the lead from the green flag, but then Carl Edwards would take the lead and at the end of lap 1 into the beginning of lap 2, okay? And So we'll talk about that later on as well. So you had the top three at lap 4, which was Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, and Truex Jr., the 1924 and the 78. Gordon started in 4th place, but he would drop down to 3rd at lap 5. So then you had Edwards, Truex Jr., and Gordon. Edwards with a 1.31 second lead over Truex Jr., who was in 2nd place at lap 5. Top 3 at lap 12, you had Edwards, Truex Jr. again, but Kevin Harvick this time in 3rd place, 1978. And the 4, Joey Logano, he started in the rear because he had a right rear gear, I forget why. Yeah. Oh, yes. He had a rear gear change, so they had to place him in the rear for the start of that race. And yes, rear gear change. That was the issue. And of course, you qualify your car, and any last-minute changes that you make, they got to put you in the back to start the race. But he did climb up to 27th place at lap 13. And then you had a top 3 at lap 16, which was Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Carl Edwards. Dale Jr. would get into the top 10 at lap 18. At lap 22, Dale Jr. was running 22nd. Lap 24, top 3, Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Jeff Gordon. And then you had your green flag pit stops, which started like approximately lap 21. Joey Logano gets popped for speeding. Okay, he has to serve a pass-through penalty, speeding through on pit road. Kyle Busch, he goes to pit because he's complaining that his car was loose, and Keselowski pits for tires. And then, so you had the top 3 at lap 28, Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards. Truex Jr. with a 2.73 second lead over Jeff Gordon at lap 28, okay? And then, okay, so now the issue is, so Carl Edwards, though, he would take the lead, though, during the green flag. See, everything changes so fast. When they come in for the green flag pit stops, you got a 2-second lead between drivers, and then all of a sudden it's like a 25-second lead because everyone's slowing down. They come into pit, during the green flag pit stops. But the funny story was Paul Menard, okay? Paul Menard gets popped for speeding on pit road lap 28, and he has to serve a pass-through penalty. So as he's serving the pass-through penalty, he gets popped for speeding again during the pass-through penalty, and he has a stop-and-go penalty he had to serve there, and which means that you stop and then you go, but you don't do no work. And then what happened was he ran over some lug nuts coming out of the box, and then he had to go to pit road again a 3rd time. Okay, and then Matt Kenseth, he gets popped for speeding on pit road, lap 30, and he also has to serve a pass-through penalty. So, lap 37, top 3, you had Kevin Harvick, Truex Jr., Jeff Gordon. Harvick with a 3.75 second lead over Truex Jr. at lap 37, which grew to 4.05 seconds at lap 38. By lap 40, it dropped down to 3.79. J.J. Yeley's, his car starts smoking on pit road. That was announced at lap 37. J.J. Yeley in the 32 car. Dale Jr. moves into the top 5 at lap 42. At lap 45, he drops out. He was actually running 6th at lap 45. So you got through 49 laps of green flag racing until the first caution, lap 49 for debris. David Ragan is the beneficiary in the 55 car. And you had your first race off of pit road, which consisted of the 78, the 5, the 4 to 31, the 19, the 24, the 40, the 41, the 2 to 48, and the 88. Truex Jr., the winner right there. The 78, the 5, and the 31 took 2 tires, and everybody else took 4. Top 3 at lap 5. Okay, so the caution end, lap 29, green flag, lap 54, restart, lap 5. Top 3 at lap 5. Truex Jr., Kane, and Harvick. Truex Jr. with a 1.25 second lead over Casey Kane by the time lap 58 came around. By lap 59, Kevin Harvick would move into 2nd place. By lap 60, you had Truex Jr., Harvick, and Casey Kane. Okay, then Jeff Gordon gets back into the top 10 at lap 62. Jeff Gordon at that time was running in 10th place. Question number 2 will come out lap 69. Stenhouse Jr. in the 17 car, who was in 17th place at the time when he went into the wall at turn 2. Beneficiary was Eric Almirola in Almirola in the 43 car. Stenhouse Jr. does head to the garage, but he would eventually return back to the race. And then he had a race off of pit road at lap 70, which consisted of the 41, the 42, the 24, the 2, the 16, the 78, the 5, the 47, and the 13. The 41 car, Kurt Busch, the winner. Green flag comes out lap 73 and restart lap 74. Alex Bowman penalized for uncontrolled tire at lap 71. So lap 74, top 3, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., and Jimmie Johnson. Wow, Kevin Harvick with a 0.20 second lead, which grew to a 0.38 second lead during lap 74. By lap 81, that lead would grow to 1.77. Race halfway mark at lap 80, 200 of 400 miles completed. It was really a short race on Sunday. Only 160 laps, which is like a half a day. So lap 81, top 3, Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., Jimmie Johnson. Okay, but Kenseth would move into third place at lap 87 during the third caution, which would come out at lap 87. But the 43 car starts smoking at lap 81. 43, Aric Almirola, possible engine issue, and then third caution, lap 87 for Jimmie Johnson, who with a cut tire left front. And then you had a race off of pit road at lap 88, 78 to 18 to 2 to 5 to 10 to 33 to 4 to 55 to 88 and 19, and the 78 Truex Jr. wins that one. Keselowski's car catches the air hose of Truex from Truex Jr.'s pit stall. So he comes, all right. So sometimes they cut across through the next door neighbor's pit stall to get back out into pit road, right? If you go through too many, you get penalized for going through too many pit stalls. So he cut through through Truex Jr.'s pit stall and grabbed Truex Jr.'s air hose and dragged it across pit road. But they didn't issue NASCAR didn't issue any penalties for that. And of course, if equipment leaving the pit box, you do get penalized, but it wasn't Jimmie Johnson's. It wasn't Keselowski's air hose. It was Truex Jr.'s air hose. So they didn't no penalties for that. Jimmie Johnson though would get penalized for pitting too soon, and JJ Ely would get penalized for uncontrolled tire. Now pitting too soon, again, pit road is closed at the beginning of a caution. And then they go around a 1 or 2 laps, and then they'll open pit road, and everybody comes in. So that's something to know about. Green flag comes out lap 91, and then lap 92, race restart. But it wouldn't last too long because lap 94 would come out with the fourth caution of the day. Alex Bowman, the 7 car, he loses it and hits the wall. Clint Bowyer is the beneficiary from that incident. Clint Bowyer in the 15 car. Race restarts at lap 97. Top 3 at lap 97, you had Truex Jr., Dale Jr., and Brad Keselowski. Truex Jr. with a 1.00 second lead over Dale Jr. at lap 97. Lap 98, you had Truex Jr., Keselowski, and Dale Jr. Truex Jr.'s lead would grow from 1.26 seconds at lap 98 to 2.64 seconds at lap 101. And it's important to keep eye on the seconds, because especially as you get towards the end of the race, the seconds are growing because the guy in front is, hauling. But then the seconds start to shrink because the guy behind you is starting to catch up. So it's really interesting. And then at lap 104, you had a top 3, which consisted of Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Brad Keselowski. But at lap 105, Dale Jr. would move into third. And then at lap 109 was Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Dale Jr. Truex Jr. with a 2.64 second lead over Harvick at lap 110. By lap 119, it would drop to 1.04. Aric Almirola, the 43 car, he drops out of the race. Again, his car was smoking. That was announced during lap 112. Question number 5 would come out lap 121. Sam Hornish Jr., the number 9 car, he goes into the wall at turn 1. And his car started smoking entering turn 1, and then he goes into the wall at the exit of turn 1. Tony Stewart, beneficiary. Race off pit road at lap 122. You had the 78, the 41, the 2, the 4, the 18, the 88, the 5, the 20, the 48, and the double 2. 78 Truex Jr. winner right there, and all cars took tires. And the race restart was lap 125. Top 3 at lap 125, Truex Jr., Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick. Question number 6. Let's see. Oh, question number 6. Okay, would come out at lap 129. The 34 car